And Rimthalin, your question was, what do you all think about further development for Wurm Unlimited? And for me, I think that's the wrong question. That in order to answer that question, we'd have to almost go back because we remember what life was like before Wurm Unlimited. Before that was even a thing. And it goes to the announcement that was made. I don't know how much you remember that announcement. We were going on, I think it was around, was it 2014, 2015, when they announced Wurm Unlimited.
Announced that they were doing it? Yeah.
Yeah. And there was, as far as I remember, not the best first impression. Because it almost felt like imagine you fall in love with this MMO and you're getting all of these updates coming out from this MMO and you're enjoying its progress and it's going and like all games you have a list of items that you wish that they worked on and you have a list of items that they've already worked on and you're going through that process. Especially in Wurm, we were like, we can't wait for bridges to come in, we can't wait for this or that for them to work on. Adam was talking about 3D mines and stuff at the time, and then the next announcement that they come off with is, guys, we're creating a new game and we're calling it Wurm Unlimited, and we're going to be spending our time on developing that.
Right, and then development almost stopped for Wurm Online for almost a year.
So you can imagine how the Wurm community would have taken that announcement at that time.
Yeah.
It was more like, wondering, okay, does this mean Wurm Online is taking a back seat? Is it done? What does this mean for us? Should we stop playing? Should we wait for Wurm Unlimited? There wasn't a lot of information or a lot of confusion at the time. And we all just had to sort of wait and see how that would play out. I think a number of us, at this time, and Rimthalin, you're saying, so in your eyes, any work on Wurm Unlimited is taking away from the thing you're so invested in. And that's what the idea was at the time, right? Because, Wurm Unlimited at the time didn't exist. We didn't know exactly what it was going to be other than what they were telling us in a forum post. And all that meant to us was, imagine you were spending years and you were following the development of the game, and now they're taking the development hours and they're putting that onto a different team or a different game. And you're like, okay, well, we were expecting this feature to come into the game soon, but now it looks like they're not even going to be working on it for a while. Mm-hmm. And because they only have so many devs and so many people to work on this stuff. So then Wurm Unlimited came out. We understood what it was more. We knew that it was having your own Wurm Online server sort of thing. And a lot of people had fun playing around with it. And I guess it started a small community, but of people that went over there. We had some friends that went over there. But it was never something that we really wanted, and the reason because of that was we always needed to make sure that we were playing on a persistent world. And I think a lot of people felt the same way that stayed in Wurm Online. You always want to feel like you're in this world with all of these other people, and that world was not going to go away. And remember, right. Wurm Unlimited was only around for a month or 2 months. We didn't know which Wurm Unlimited servers would stay and which ones would go. It was so early in that process.
Right.
And no one knew how it would play out.
I've heard lots of people who had invested in a server for months, only for that server to just be shut down by whoever was owning it.
Whoever, because it's just the person that's owned it. Now, we know now that after a specific amount of time, it's been years, that some of those servers stuck around. We just didn't know which ones. So you're basically playing Wurm Roulette, not unlike, I guess, completely unlike Cat's Wurm Roulette.
Cats is Wurm
But
Roulette, yeah.
you're basically saying, okay, I'm going to pick this server and really hope I'm crossing my fingers that it's not going to go away. But if you're just play Wurm Online, we knew 100% sure they're not going to go away.
Well, not 100% sure.
100% sure. There was even like an announcement by Rolf himself saying, "I'm not taking down the server," like Wurm Online,
Yes.
and he had some comment that everybody remembers him saying at that time, which was like, even if Wurm had like one person playing or something, I can't remember the exact quote. I am 100% paraphrasing.
One person on the server still playing, then he's going to keep it open.
We can still afford to keep the servers going, sort of thing.
Right.
Like, don't worry. We're not taking them down. They cost so little to like maintain it, and he doesn't want his creation to be destroyed, sort of thing, that it'll still be here. And he tried to put our minds at ease. And at the moment, I mean, he was true. It was true. Like, there was never any thought, at least publicly, about taking Wurm Online servers down. And that's what the value, that's the Rim. Exactly. That was the value for everybody that stuck with Wurm Online. That was the value for us.
Now, to be honest, like the whole time that Wurm Unlimited was around, it definitely ate into the cycle, the development cycle of Wurm Online. Like every time Wurm Online would get an update, then there would be like a 3-month lag before Wurm Unlimited would get that update, because I'm not sure why, but the devs required that 3-month time to get it all ready for Wurm Unlimited for some reason. Just the way it was constructed, I guess. And those extra 3 months took away development time from Wurm Online still. So I think that at the point where they decided they're going to release on Steam, and they're going to use, they're predicting that if they put a lot of effort into this release, then they could potentially attract a lot of new players. And so it was also at that same time that they decided we need to stop devoting our time on Wurm Unlimited if we want to get the Steam thing going. So they made that hard decision at the time to stop developing Wurm Unlimited.
Are you frozen as well? Oh, there it goes.
I'm frozen, yeah. Okay, there, yeah. So like I know a lot of people are invested in Wurm Unlimited, and I know it sucks for those people to hear that news. But I think from the perspective of if we want to make Wurm Online as successful as it possibly can be, I think it was the right move.
Right.
For the devs to drop it.
And typically, you're right. Rolf is now gone, so we remember those quotes fondly, but they don't really apply these days. And Serotonin Junkie saying that Wurm Unlimited attracted new players to Wurm Online, from what you heard, and that's true. Yeah, it did attract players to Wurm Online. At the same time, it also highly cut the amount of players that were playing Wurm Online at the time. And if you look back at statistics, a lot of players left for Wurm Unlimited, which, it's not bad. It still meant that at the time, Rolf made a bunch of money for people buying Wurm Unlimited, and then they kept Wurm Unlimited going, and it just kind of split the community up a little bit, as far as from a user perspective. From a company perspective, they still could count those people as users.
Yeah, just recently he made that farewell post. Rolf did, and in that post he did say that he has been dabbling in a project or two, one of which failed already apparently, like he's already dropped it, but he has never specified precisely what he's working on. Yeah, everybody guesses it's a Wurm 2, but
Yeah, I don't think so.
I wouldn't hold your breath.
I feel like
I don't think so.
that time has passed. If he was going to do Wurm 2, he would have already done it, I feel. If he had that desire.